We've gotten months and months of teasers leading up to the debut of Marvel's biggest and most epic new event series, A.X.E. Judgment Day #1. Now the issue is finally here, and we are all ready to go ahead and dive deep into the debut issue. I wanted to go ahead and back up and explain a little bit about what this title is. A.X.E. stands for Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. The Eternals are waging war against the X-Men for violating one of their prime principles, which is not to proceed with any sort of excess deviation. Now, you might be wondering at this stage, what kind of excess deviation have the X-Men been up to? And it's really three things that are causing the Eternals to target the X-Men, including the X-Men founding the nation-state of Krakoa that they all currently operate out of, terraforming and colonizing the planet Mars, now as the planet Arakko, and lastly, for cheating death. Actions have consequences, and last week's Hellfire Gala issue really exposed the weakness that the X-Men currently have in their defenses. My name is Arakko Braddock, and today it's time to dive into one of the biggest comic books of the year. Thank you so much for stopping by to check out the video. If you liked the video, go ahead and like the video. Nobody here is stopping you. And if you like the video a lot, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is the best way to go ahead and help me grow and continue to produce excellent content over on the channel. And I want to start today by highlighting the impressive creative team from the issue. A.X.E. Judgment Day #1 is written by Kieron Gillen, who previously wrote the main Eternal series. We have art from the excellent Valerio Schiti, who contributed some artwork in the past to series like Guardians of the Galaxy. The colors from Marte Gracia are just so vivid and wonderful in the issue, and the letters are by VC's Clayton Cowles. And one of the things I wanted to do here was show everybody the actual artwork from the Eternal series, or from A.X.E. Judgment Day #1. Please excuse me. So basically, this artwork from this series does a great job kind of spotlighting the team and really showing some of their character interactions here. If you take a look at the line work from Schiti, it's so clean, so precise, and these pages are really laid out in a fascinating manner. In this first page of the issue, we have Tony Stark interacting with the Eternal Circe. And in fact, it's fascinating to contextualize this scene because it almost seemed from the marketing material that the Avengers had no idea what has been going on behind the scenes with the Eternals plotting to wage war against the X-Men. However, this particular issue introduces the idea that the Avengers actually knew that the Eternals snuck onto their mansion a few issues back in the main Eternals series and have been plotting and planning to interfere in this war and sort of stop it before it happens. So that's just one example of how the plotting in the issue is so incredibly confident. And the way that Schiti interprets the interactions between the characters with really complicated kind of facial expressions that show that each of these characters are currently in sort of a heated negotiation. And really, you need a artist on this series who is capable of drawing so many different characters and really has strong possession of some of the line work. In fact, in this second interior page of the issue, we see Arakko wrapped up in a big fight with Circe. I love how this page is composed again, and it has really nice and vivid colors from Marte Gracia. Again, this kind of highlights some of the best work from the artistic side of the issue itself. And really another aspect that I wanted to go ahead and touch on was basically the Eternals in this series. The Eternal Druid is working with Thanos' great uncle Uranos to plot and plan against the Eternals. And while it's interesting to see their reaction, to the X-Men and how they're plotting and planning to take on the team, the one criticism I have for this issue is just specifically how some of the characterization is meant to be picked up kind of too quickly, and there's a sort of shorthand that develops. The specific problems I have pertain to the last couple story pages in the issue where a major plot point happens, and I don't feel in this particular part of the series that Kieron Gillen really explains it to the fullest extent. This could be issues with the amount of pages in the series, and overall, the amount of quality in this issue really is able to overcome some of those, shorthand or some of those momentary pitfalls. When the issue stops establishing the building blocks for this ginormous war between the Eternals and the X-Men, the action starts. And really, as soon as the action starts, it never really stops in this issue until the final couple muddled story pages. But there is so much meticulous planning just throughout this series. The plotting is still intact from everything you loved about the Hellfire Gala or previous stories. I just think that if you are really invested in the X-Men franchise, and if you've read all of the previous series, that A.X.E. Judgment Day #1 isn't going to let you down, aside from the kind of puzzling last couple pages of the issue. Really, it was all building towards that massive confrontation between kind of Druig and his forces against the X-Men, and watching just each players slowly build up to that moment has made Judgment Day already feel special to me. If you're in the market for a Marvel event that really is able to plot and establish conflict between, superheroes in a way that's very smart and very cohesive, this is the series for you. This corner of Marvel and Marvel Comics is my absolute favorite right now, coming out of the publisher. I'm glad to see so many of their books so closely interconnected, and I do see something special with A.X.E. Judgment Day. If you've read Marvel events over the past couple years and want something that's actually worth reading and well plotted out, I can't recommend this comic book series enough. Anyways, I had a pleasure talking about the debut for Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day #1. That title is a mouthful. But thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I'm going to continue covering wonderful X-Men content. Please feel free to, continue following the channel on a weekly basis. Like the video and subscribe if you have a few moments. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.